What is auditing? According to the Companies Act 2006, an audit is the examination of the financial report of an organisation. An examination that shows that adequate accounting records have been kept by the company and that the company's individual accounts are in agreement with the accounting records and returns. In simple words, auditing is a review of the company's financial statements that ensures that the statements provide a true and fair view. An audit report educates potential investors and allows them to make investing decisions and highlights the strengths and flags the concerns within the company, allowing them to do better and optimising the efficiency of the firm. The history of auditing in the UK. According to Lee 1994, the early historical development of auditing is generally not well documented. However, Flint 1998 argues that audit started to exist because individuals and groups wanted to obtain reassurance on information that they require. The practice of auditing became firmly established during this period with the start of the Industrial Revolution. However, the annual presentation of a balance sheet to the shareholders and the requirement of a statutory audit were only made compulsory in the 1900s under the Companies Act 1862. The role of auditors during this period was mainly focused on fraud detection and the proper portrayal of a company's solvency in the balance sheet. Risk-based auditing, which is a style of auditing that focuses upon the analysis and management of risk, became more popular during this period, and auditors focused on areas that were more likely to contain errors. So we can see that during this period, auditors were focused on the detection of technical errors. Moreover, with the introduction of computer systems, auditors placed heavy reliance on the advanced computing auditing tools to facilitate their audit procedures. During the early 2000s, auditing firms started giving financial consulting services to their clients. The quality of audits was scrutinized after a series of financial scandals of public companies such as Sunbeam, Waste Management, Enron, and Broadcom. This encouraged auditing firms to introduce more stringent measures to ensure better independence and audit quality. Since these incidents, firms have started taking financial advice from an audit firm that is different from the one that audits their financial reports. Regarding the law, Companies Act 2006 became the legislation that is responsible for the law enforcement of auditing in the UK. So as we can see, over the past years, auditing objectives have changed from the detection of fraud to the detection of technical errors and recently to the detection of errors of principles.
So what is internal and external audit? The Chartered Institute of Internal Auditors defines internal audit as an independent assurance that an organisation is operating effectively, a usually voluntary process that a firm undergoes with the objective of improving operations and controls within a business. An external audit, however, is an independent examination of the financial statements prepared by the organisation. While internal audit remains a choice within the firm, external audit is usually mandatory for most firms. Internal audits help firms make decisions regarding managing risks and optimising performance, whereas external audits generate an opinion that's available to stakeholders outside of the firm. Internal audits may lead to improved economy and efficiency, which in turn may contribute to a cost minimisation and improved economic output, which then maximises generated income. A collaboration of over 100 studies in a report found the regression to be statistically significant between the internal audit activity of a country and the GDP as a measurement of its economic activity.
The rise of auditing firms has introduced a new sector into the UK economy. The substantial growth in this segment has provided the UK with new job opportunities, with the Big Four alone recruiting over 4,000 graduates annually. This has pushed the economy towards full employment, which in return encourages a positive multiplier. The cyclical nature of the multiplier effect, driven by a marginal propensity to consume, causes a higher total income within the UK. Economic activities such as a larger workforce or higher intellectual property power the economy, which in return causes an increase in other economic activities. This has a similar effect to the Keynesian multiplier, which states that government spending invokes a cycle of spending, resulting in an overall increased GDP. An auditor's opinion provides more transparency between different firms. This helps investors to make certain investing decisions, which in return leads to more competitive markets. Such competitive markets promote efficiency within firms. So a firm may try to achieve productive efficiency, where they try to gain a fixed level of output by minimizing the cost of inputs. This provides a more sustainable economy. The absence of such competition would lead firms to have X inefficiency, where firms would not have any incentive to efficiently allocate resources within it. Performing a value for money audit ensures the goods or services are worth the money that is being spent on it, based upon standard criteria of economy, efficiency, and effectiveness. The audit looks to maximize the utility gained. Value for money audits are prominent within the public sector, such as the National Health Service and the Ministry of Defence. The National Audit Office is an independent organisation which is responsible for conducting such audits, providing assurance to Parliament as well as holding the government accountable as to how taxpayers' money is being spent. One such audit recently performed Value for Money on the Department of International Development, which uses the government's commitment to spend 0.7% of gross national income on international aid. The amount has increased 26.5% since 2011, a sum of £3.2 billion. The study investigated how the department tackles fraud, finding known gross losses to be over £3 million. The study also found that correlation between instances of fraud and increase in the government's contribution. This shows an example of when a value for money audit can be used to reduce the impact of fraud, use money more wisely and provide more capital for other programs, which will ensure the redistribution of capital to boost areas of the economy where it is needed. Auditing enforces regulation. It deters companies from misstating assets and committing frauds, which in return increases the reliability of the individual markets. The additional confidence makes foreign and domestic investors feel more secure while investing in the UK economy. Foreign direct investment, or FDI, increases capital inflow, improves technology, allows knowledge transfer, and also has a positive impact on the UK's balance of payments. This reliability promotes long-term sustainable investments, which causes economic growth. For example, during the year 2015-2016, nearly 1,600 jobs were created every week due to the FDI in the UK. And currently, the UK ranks first in Europe for the most number of FDI projects. The nature of an audit is based on the principle that an external auditor will validate the reliability of a company's accounts, therefore providing users of financial statements to make well-informed decisions while also maintaining professional skepticism. This therefore encourages shareholders to rely on the accounts to influence their decisions, whether this be for internal development, encouraging forms of finance, or improving the reputation of a company. Companies obtaining finance from investors or lenders will invest this in the form of capital, thus fueling the economy further. Such investments are the main contributors into the circular flow of income, which is shown to be impacted positively by lower levels of risk. Performing a financial audit on a company enhances the confidence in their statements. This means that audit is imperative to investments, which is a major driving force in economic growth. Taking GDP as an economic indicator, the Bureau of Economic Analysis found the correlation between quarterly change in business spending and GDP to be 0.7, therefore showing the audit can assist to a better performing economy. Tax authorities assess taxes based on the profits shown in the audited statement. This makes sure that the government collects the maximum amount of tax possible. This helps the HMRC in collecting taxes and improve tax compliance. Auditing has a direct and indirect effect on taxation. Direct effects of auditing are additional revenues collected as a result of a tax audit. Indirect effects refer to the deterrence effect, where it deters potential tax evaders from cheating on their taxes. The largest source of finance for the UK government comes from taxes, largely levied on the accumulation of wealth across individuals, corporations, and goods and services produced. In the case of businesses, tax authorities base their figures on profits shown in the audited statements. Once surpassing a threshold of two of the criteria, £10.2 million of turnover, £5.1 million total assets, or 50 employees, a firm must have its accounts audited. This is hugely important as the government uses tax to redistribute wealth in the UK economy by providing merit and public goods.
The UK economy may be highly sophisticated and successful, especially in the financial sector industry, employing over 7% of the UK workforce, producing nearly 12% of total economic output and contributing £66 billion in taxes and generating a trade surplus of £72 billion. However, this doesn't change the fact that economies rely on the correct information being given out, and when this trust is broken, it can have major implications. The example of Tesco, where PwC provided unqualified opinions when in fact there were major material misstatements, summing over £263 million, which may lead to the public and other investors to question the fee of such companies and their future work. This can have a knock-on effect, as the auditor's reports and opinions are not trusted and they may decide to invest elsewhere. And this can also lead to a loss of foreign direct investment, which can in turn result in the loss of hundreds of potential jobs weekly. Furthermore, if a company gets a qualified opinion, this may result in a loss of speculation around the company, a potential decrease in value, damage to credit rating, and a loss of investors. This can have an impact on the UK economy because if the company is reasonably large, then it can have an effect on their suppliers, their own workforce, and potentially many businesses that rely on the product that they sell. In the case of Tesco, £2 billion was wiped off the share price overnight, leading to many repercussions till this day, such as loss of market share and the loss of capital. When a company has an audit, it is normally fairly expensive, and thus, like with any cost, there is opportunity cost. The average price for an audit is said to be around 1% of overall annual cost. Would the money have been better spent elsewhere than for the audit team to come in and say that the accounts have been correctly stated? For smaller companies, this may mean quite a lot, as they could have potentially hired another employee or bought another delivery van if they deliver products to their clients, or could have expanded their store. However, an external audit may be more beneficial and cost-effective than an internal audit, as they wouldn't have to pay a salary year-round and provide the training, etc. for that employee. Moreover, this may also lead to an increase in the price of the products of the company, and thus the consumers will have less disposable income available. This is due to companies wanting to pass on the extra cost onto the consumer and thus reduce the consumer surplus and not the producer surplus. Materiality can be an area of conflict due to the threshold seeming too high for investors. When they see the materiality stated by the auditors in the report, they may not decide to take into consideration what the auditor's figure is, as they are concerned with how high it is, even though it may not be an issue for the auditor as it is within the threshold. This could be due to some investors wanting the company to report their financial statements perfectly, and any misstatement may be a cause for concern. Auditors are required to show due diligence, however, may ignore immaterial misstatements. Criticism of the auditing profession may arise as the AMPT may be too large and dissuade potential investors. According to ISA 320, materiality and qualitative factors, 5% of profit before tax, 1% of revenue, and total assets of 1 to 2% is the materiality required. The most commonly used base in auditing is net income, which is earnings over profits. Most common percentages are in the range of 5 to 10%. For example, an amount under 5% is immaterial and an amount over 10% is material. Thus, 5 to 10% requires judgment. Once an audit has been completed, it is published and ready for investors and members of the public to read. However, for a large company, an audit can take a few months from beginning to end, and this makes the audit historical. Therefore, it may not show a 100% up-to-date overview of the company, but it is intended to be accurate with the use of models that auditors use to predict how the company's account will handle different scenarios. External audits can be expensive due to the amount of training that auditing companies provide and the expertise in the industry, as well as their knowledge. This can have an effect on the UK economy, as they may want to pass this extra cost on to consumers, thus decreasing consumer surplus.
As the volume of data and the nature of firms change, the characteristics of audit will need to adapt in order to be beneficial as previous systems may become obsolete. The role of auditing will change as capital markets face new regulatory changes. Regular changes in the frameworks introduced by boards such as IAS or IAASB have a large impact in the quality of audit within the UK, promoting a clear, well-presented audit for the stakeholders of a company to use. This promotes the overall transparency and quality of an audit, allowing users to rely with more certainty on the audited statements as they have been prepared appropriately with a qualified or unqualified opinion. Formally presenting accounts in accordance with these frameworks imposes a standardisation of internal control, which influences the audit scope and timing, allowing the users access to more efficient, well-presented information to base their business decisions on. The continuous use of data analytics and new technology will make it easier to analyse entire sets of data rather than using small sets as samples. This will add credibility to the audit and provides further insight as well as identifying future risks. In a study conducted by Deloitte, it was found that 3/4 of the users of financial statements stated that they would be welcome more use of technology within the audit process. The introduction of such methods would lead to increased timeliness, information access and quality, all of which have experienced growing demand across the audit profession. To summarise, auditing provides credibility and reliability to investors, as that their investments are in safe hands. This increases domestic and foreign investment, which positively impacts the multiplier cycle by creating more job opportunities, while also increasing competition and efficiency of the economy. It also minimises the possibility of tax avoidance, and hence HMRC can collect the maximum available tax to fund public and merit goods. Internal audits, such as value for money, increase the effectiveness and economy of internal processes, which in turn allows firms to compete at their optimum output, driving healthy competition in the UK's market. Further incorporating analytics and imposing new framework within audit will transform the process, allow deeper insights combined with new perspectives as large data sets can be captured. The paradigm shift away from a traditional systems-based audit to a more consultancy-style approach, assisted by technological advances, will become more prevalent in years to come, allowing auditors to provide stronger conclusions and companies to have more confidence in forward-looking perspectives. The impact this will have on the UK will provide the ability to utilise increasing amounts of data and deliver high levels of quality in audit, which in turn will place firms in a stronger, better informed position to achieve targets of growth and sustainability. The implementation of these systems into audit will create new approaches and success when tackling fraud, error or breakdown in controls. The fundamental objective in audit lies in improving reliability in the financial statements for a variety of potential users, as well as improving internal controls, maintaining a scope that provides reasonable assurance with the allowance of inherent limitations in an audit. The external verification promotes a level of trust, and it comes with a reduction of risk. This is essential to providing long-term investment, which drives the economy by adding the fuel of additional capital from a variety of sources, from individuals to foreign direct investments. Expansion of the financial services sector and its uses have become essential to the growth of the UK's economy, encouraging further consumer spending and influencing relatively healthy markets. Albeit not perfect, the role audit plays in the economy is an invaluable contribution as it adapts and evolves to changes in the surrounding volatile environment caused by political uncertainty and inflated prices. However, with the inflow of FDI from the EU to slow in 2017, reliable audits will supply the much needed assurance around the UK that's needed until economic growth recovers to a stable, predictable rate.